voice and you have some like a unique style that you want to follow and a unique idea, um, you have to accept that you're not going to be as popular as Lil Baby. And that's just like, so you, but you can
Hmm.
still get a lot of value out of that if you can invest in a community and like give people what they want and like provide value to them. So I think that'll just be something that becomes even more true. uh just try like, and I'm not like super dim on the music industry. I have a lot of artists I love, but in terms of like the top 5 rap albums of the year, they haven't been good for a while. Like in terms of in the top five
Hmm.
best selling rap albums of the last few years of each year, this just hasn't been that many good ones. um and we saw it with Kendrick. Like he tried to put out Mr. Morale, and people are still on the fence on whether or not that was like a terrible mistake. I loved the album, but like, generally it like didn't do super well. I think it actually left the Billboard 200 at this point, which is
Yeah,
which is
I
not
think it has.
good for like, that's not good at all. Um, so that, he can, that's okay for him, but like it says something about where people are at with the music, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
I think to quickly touch on that album, and because I've had thoughts on it, it's still an amazing album, but I think it's such a, we use the word niche so much,
yeah,
but the story about it is so niche that me as just like a white man, like it's just not something I'm going to completely relate to, that I'm going to be replaying some of these songs. And it's fine because it wasn't made for me to digest. It's for people who can really relate to that content.
yeah. I mean,
So like shout out to him for making content, taking that risk to make content like that.
I found it to be very therapeutic and amazingly well written. I loved the instrumentals, and like I have gone back to it a lot, but like, if someone was like that was a flop, I might say, yeah, that might have been a flop a little bit.
Commercial flop,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but not like
No,
artistic flop,
artistically it
I
was
guess.
great. I mean, he included some like weird, boring song, like the one Purple Hearts. I was like, what the hell is it?
Bad,
What the hell
awful.
is that? Like 5 minutes long and just random pop hooks and I just. But yeah, I mean, overall, like especially the second half, the tracks with Kodak and Baby Keem,
Count Me Out, I love,
it's
and
really,
Silent
really
Hill.
good, really good. But yeah, it's not, and especially what you said about like the white man thing, like, you know, uh, about 5 years ago, a lot of like suburban type white people found out about hip hop for the first time, and it became like cool to be like, yeah, mom and dad, I love Kendrick Lamar. He's so cool. Like he made damn, oh that's great. And like everyone's walking around like playing damn at like Top Golf and shit. And like, but
Top
but
Golf.
but I just I've all I don't say this on my channel, but like I've always wanted to say like, you know, uh that's not how I am. Like the reason I like hip hop is because I it reflects a lot of experiences I've had, and that, like personally, and some people might be like, well, what are you talking about? Well, it just does, and that's that's fine. But I came to it, and like Kendrick Lamar, I heard it and I was like, Good Kid, Mad City made me realize that I had to have a different trajectory in life. And that's when I realized
Mhm.
that I hip hop could be is the story of a lot of people. Not usually people who look like
Yeah,
me, but like if it's very real. And then obviously all the white kids get into it and they want to hear like Young Thug and weird like Lil Baby and this and that, and then the labels take advantage of that and it becomes hyper commercial, and that's going to go away. It's not going to be
yeah,
interesting forever. The casual music consumer wants to hear what's cool and trendy, and like it's been trendy for a while, but like the Migos are done. That's all done. Like a lot of that is just going away, and most of
yeah,
the consumers of that are white people. uh so if that goes away, I'm still going to be here. It's still going to be my favorite genre of music. It's still going to
yeah,
be an amazing way to tell real stories and express yourself. But like, if we're at a turning point where it becomes a little bit more niche and you have to kind of double down on quality to get anywhere, that's like, it happens. I don't think it's the
yeah.
next rock music where, it becomes like just embarrassingly cringe, like
Hmm.
a lot of rock bands now are, and that moment really passed. I don't think that's going to happen because it's like it's storytelling music.
Yeah,
um
that's why.
and was rock ever not like a few examples, but not really. So when
Yeah,
rock flopped, it's because it got like way too commercial, and I think the
Yep.
trap era is over because it got way too commercial. But there's
yeah,
still so much amazing stuff, and there's still so many artists who are expressing themselves in like a meaningful way. So I'm always going to be there
Yeah.
for that. I want to keep listening to it for the
Mhm.
rest of my life. So
I loved all that, and I want to shout out hip hop for making me a way more empathetic person. Not that I was ever not an empathetic person, but it's just I love artists who storytell, and learning about other people's
yeah,
backgrounds is, I think, important for any community. Which is why I don't know, you grew up in like New York City in an incredibly diverse ecosystem, and you would never like have different thoughts than if you just grew up in a very same race type of like area. So shout out to hip hop for teaching me about the backgrounds of so many different people, not just black people, white people, any race that makes this music.
yeah, there are a lot of great
Mm-hmm.
artists. Like you guys know Wiki. He's like a Puerto Rican Irish guy.
Mm.
He's from Harlem, but he raps and like tells all these stories. There are a lot of great French rappers and UK rappers and
Mm-hmm.
people from different backgrounds, and like it's really amazing. It's like it's the best music genre ever created.
Yes,
So
sir.
I think there are a lot of different forms of it. So it doesn't it's going to exist forever.